Imagine carrying a tablet in your pocket, not a clunky tablet, but a device that folds shut into something you can slip into your jeans. Sounds like a future tech, right? Well, that future is here, but it comes with a price tag that makes many of us pause. In this video, I will show you what you are really paying for and why that extra cost might actually make sense for some people. Stick around because by the end, I will also give 3 clear recommendations with price and who they suit. So you will know whether to buy now or wait. Alright, shalom to you and let's get started. So the first question is, how foldable phones work? At their core, foldable phones are a marriage of a regular smartphone and a flexible display engineering. There are 2 main styles, the phablet book style and the clamshell flip style. The main technical pieces are flexible OLED AMOLED panel, ultra-thin cover glass, precision hinge mechanism, and software and app continuity. Talking about flexible OLED and AMOLED panel, instead of rigid glasses, this display uses ultra-thin layers and flexible organic light-emitting diodes that can bend without breaking. To protect the panel, and manufacturers use specially layered films and ultra-thin glasses or polymer layers. Now, moving to ultra-thin cover glasses, it's much thinner than regular smartphone glass, so it can bend. This takes special process to make, and when there is a precision hinge mechanism, it is not a simple pivot. It's engineered with dozens or even hundreds of tiny parts that must align perfectly, often with gears, cams or multi-link systems to open smoothly and sit flat. Many modern designs include dust seals and gapless mechanisms include this precision hinge mechanism. Now, when it comes to software and continuity, there is behind scenes where the software teams adapt Android and apps to make handle 2 screens, split screens multitasking and the transition between folded and unfolded states. So the hardware and software both have to be rethought, not just copy-pasted from a slab phones. So another big question that raises is why they're expensive. Here's the short answer. Foldables need rarer materials, more precise engineering, extra parts, specialized testing, and they are still made in relatively small quantities. And let me unpack that. There are total 6 major components which play a vital role and they make the foldable phone very expensive. The first is premium materials. Makers use titanium alloys, reinforced frame metals, special coatings, and sometimes exotic finishes. These materials are costlier and often requires hand finishing for fit and feel. The second is flexible display cost and low yield. Producing a flexible OLED or OLED stack that's bright, durable, and foldable is much harder than making a flat display. Yields are lower, which raises the per unit cost. The display assembly alone can be substantially more expensive than a standard flagship screen. The third is a complex hinge engineering and assembly. Hinges can contain many precision parts, some requires tolerance down to hundreds of a millimeter. Building and assembling these reliably uses special tooling and careful calibration. In cost breakdowns, hinge subsystems can represent a significant portion of the parts bill. The fourth is R&D testing. Companies spend heavily on iterative prototype, durability testing, fold cycles, dust water seals, etc. and software optimization so apps behave correctly across 2 displays. Prototype cycles and engineering validation add millions to development budget, cost that gets allocated across the first batches of the phone. Foldables are still niche. Lower volume means less economy of a scale, and the supply chain for a foldable specific part like screen hinges is smaller or more specialized. That keeps component prices high. And the sixth is higher repair and warranty risk. Manufacturers price in the risk and cost of a service infrastructure, extend warranties and insurance options because repairs can be pricier than for a slab phones. Those factors explain why the top tier foldables often sit well above $1,000 or commonly approach to $18,000 to $2,000 for a flagship models. So what factors to consider while buying a foldable phone? If you are thinking of buying one, don't just chase the fold, consider these factors. The first is durability and hinge reliability. Look for a hinge testing numbers, IP ratings for a water dust resistance and material choices. The second is display quality and crease visibility, which checks brightness, refresh rates and how noticeable the crease is in daily use. The third is software updates and app optimization. The longer OS security update promises are better. Good app continuity matters for most productivity. The fourth is a battery life. Folding mechanism often leaves less space for a battery. Real-world battery tests matter more than a spec sheets. The fifth is repair cost and warranty options. Check how much a screen or hinge repair cost and whether extended coverage is offered or not. The sixth is a form factor. Clamshell versus phablet. Clamshells are compact but pocketable. Phablets give tablets like productivity when open. Choose based on whether portability or screen real estate is your priority. The last is price versus use case. Are you buying for multitasking, content creation, or the novelty? Your real world use determines values. So, the another big question that has been raised is what problems does a foldable phone solve that a non-foldable can't? Foldable phones aren't just style statements, they solve concrete problems for certain users. First is a pocket tablet experience. You get a near tablet screen for a reading, editing and watching when you need it, and a normal phone size when fold. True multitasking. Larger unfoldable displays plus split screen allowing running multiple apps side by side, effectively greater for productivity. The third is a flexible camera workflow. Some clamshells let you use rear cameras for selfies with the cover screen as a viewfinder. And the last is compactness without compromise. You don't have to carry two devices, phone and tablet. For people who travel light, that's a major benefit. That said, if you don't need a split screen multitasking or a tablet size viewing regularly, a regular screen size phone or a tablet may be better or cheaper fit. So, for whom the foldable phones are made and who should consider one? So, in short, the foldable phones are made for power users and multitasks who value desktop-like workflows on the go. The second is content creators who want a bigger screen for editing and preview. The third is for professionals who read and annotate documents or run multiple apps simultaneously. The fourth is a style and tech enthusiast who values novelty and premium finishes. And the last is people who want to compact devices but sometimes need a tablet. Clamshells users get compactness plus large main screen when opened. So if you're a casual user who mainly scrolls social media and take photos, a slab phone probably covers your needs at a lower cost. Now the another big question that has been raised is there any alternative to foldable? And the answer is yes. The alternatives includes large screen slab flagships. Many phones now have 6.7 to 6.9 inch displays that are fine for media. The another is a phone plus tablet combo. Keep a cheap tablet for a reading, streaming and a phone for a daily use. And the next one is a dual screen accessories and cases. Some cases or attachable displays add a second screen or experience for a less but with compromises. The next is a small laptops or 2-in-1 displays. For heavy productivity, a portable laptop or a tablet keyboard still beats a phone for extended work. So is a foldable phone going to replace a tablets? The short answer is not entirely, because foldables can replace tablets for some users who want a single device for both phone and associated tablet tasks. For many users, however, tablets still offer a large screen, stylus support, longer battery life and lower cost per inch of a display. The market will likely evolve into overlap. Foldables will eat some tablet demand, especially among commuters and mobile professionals, but tablets and large tablets, that is 2-in-1s, will remain strong for creators, artists and heavy for media consumers. Market forecasts show foldable adoptions rising fast, but the device categories will coexist for you. So the bonus part is the top 3 recommendation with reason and costing. Based on the durability, value and real world use, here are the 3 picks. Price approximation varied by region or deal. The first is a Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold, best for overall, and it starts with $1,800. And the reason is it has a top durability upgrades with IP68 dust water protection, strong battery, excellent software and a 7 years of update with solid camera and smooth multitasking. Great for people who want the most reliable foldable experience. The second is Motorola Razr Ultra, which was launched in 2025. It is the best clamshell for style and compactness. It costs you around $1,100 to $1,300 depending on config. The reason is it is compact, very usable cover display with native apps, strong hinge improvements, good camera and battery life, and it's ideal if you want a pocketable flip with a premium feel. And the third is a Motorola Razr, which launched in 2025 with the best value under $1,000. And the clear reason is it gives you the foldable experience at a lower price with decent performance and improved durability. And choose this if you want the form factor without a flagship price. The another thing to note is Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold series and Z Flip series are also excellent choices in their tires, but their flagship Z Fold models frequently run towards $2,000. Always check local prices, trade-in deals and repair service options before you buy. So the foldables cost more than because they combine cutting-edge display, intricate mechanical engineering, premium materials, lots of R&D and testing, and limited production scale, all of which adds up. If you need the tablets in your pocket, convenience and multitasking power, a foldable can be worth the investment. If you want the best value, the mid-range clamshells give you the vibe at a lower cost. If you did like, drop a comment saying whether you did buy one or wait, and which use case matters most of you, multitasking media, photography, and compactness. If you like the breakdown, hit like, share, and subscribe for more tech experience. Alright, let's lock up the house. See you soon with another incredible video. Till then, shalom to you and subscribe for more.